Dejon gets quit from Figgmunity.
No, he got
fired. Fired from Figgmunity.
He got fired. Dude was farting too much.
Farting?
Yeah, then he sharded. He sharded and sat there instead of getting up. He sat there and it got all in the couch twice.
I don't want to think about him farting. Can you
He
imagine what the
sharded.
cleanup job would be like?
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, they got tired of it,
It'd be
bro.
like hosing down an elephant.
You tried to act like it didn't happen, and then they did a vote. You know, they said when he did a bunny hop. He was like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. Like, because they were on good terms, but you're shorting, bro. You got to figure it out.
Do you know what it was actually about? It was, so he basically like bullied multiple people off of that podcast that he was on Figgmunity. There was a dude, Stet, and then there's another dude, Scotty. And he was basically so toxic and aggressive and weird to both of these dudes that they both ended up leaving the podcast, even though they were already on the podcast before he got added to the podcast.
What do you mean, like aggressive how? Like making advances at him?
No, the dude Scotty, I don't think it was like directly at him, but he was basically just made the environment so toxic that the dude Scotty wanted to leave. But then the dude Stet, who's like kind of worked for T-Rail for a long time or whatever, he basically like they got into such an intense argument about it that I guess Stet started to like tear up a little bit. And so then Dejon kept saying, why don't you go cry? Why don't you go cry? Like being such a head about it to such an absurd extent that Stet ended up leaving the podcast as well. But that kind of turned into like all the other dudes on that network apparently not Stet either, because apparently Pun hates Stet, which I didn't understand. But yeah, Dejon basically did all that damage to that side podcast that they had. And then after that, you know, the other dude, Keem, he's like down with TDE or whatever, the light-skinned dude. He was critical of Dejon, and Dejon went on Instagram in the comments and basically made fun of his dad, who apparently used to smoke crack and is now dead. And he said a bunch of shit about the maggots are eating your dead dad. Crazy shit.
But soon as you get at him, he plays victim.
Yeah. And then, okay, because there was no mention when he posted his statement about leaving Figgmunity, there was no mention of anything besides homophobia. It was just purely, I've chosen to separate and leave because I'm sick and tired of being made fun of for being gay, yada, yada. No mention of, telling your coworker that you are happy his dad's dead or whatever.
He's full of shit. That's why I used to shart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of dude. I hate when people do that. Like, bro, don't act one way and then when it comes back at you, now all of a sudden you want to use the card. You know what I mean? Oh, it's because of this. No, it's because of what you was doing to people, not what people was doing to you.
No, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it's just so obvious at this point that this dude's a piece of shit. He's been trying to make content and get some kind of following going in LA for almost 10 years. His average podcast gets a couple hundred views. So he has no organic fan base because those numbers did not move after he left No Jumper. They stayed exactly the same. Nobody gives a about him. He goes on Figgmunity. The only way that he was able to bring in any kind of audience at all was just by being super toxic and beefing with the other people on the podcast who, from what I could tell, seemed like they were enjoying the podcast because they were able to actually have decent conversations. He completely, he got the numbers up, but he did so by just being a huge toxic asshole to everybody involved. And then he leaves there, and I mean, obviously, it's just he had a tweet about being the first gay person in the history of LA hip hop media or whatever. It got like 80 likes. I mean, normally leaving your platform because of homophobia and being the first gay pioneer in a category, normally that gets you some kind of recognition.
Well, he's just a guy over there named Jason Lee.
Yeah, well, that's
dummy.
He would say he's not hip hop.
Who? Jason Lee is part of the culture.
I would agree, but I think that he's less hip-hop specific.
Jason's part of the culture.
Agreed.
Period. From the bottom to the top and everything in between. So I don't even know, I blame you for that. When you let that dude come up here, he had his little report card thing going, but it was going to get his ass whooped. When you brought him up here, it kind of became a thing.
He kind of stopped doing the report cards once he got up here. I feel like it became less important. I can't believe we gave him a chance, honestly. I kind of feel bad about it.
You did it.
I did, yeah. Honestly, Josh did. But Josh asked my permission, so I gotta support him.
Oh.
It was a fun little arc But overall, it wasn't worth it. I mean, think about it. Who would ever hire him again? But I said this after he fake getting shot. I said,
getting shot.
I don't know who would ever hire him again. They did hire him for a period of time. I just don't think after the way that went down, now you've really burnt all your bridges. And with the radio stations, like who would take him on at this point?
Nobody. You can't trust him. He lies. He's disrespectful. He violates others. He's not sensitive towards other people's feelings. And then if you say something back to him, he plays victim, and then he fakes getting shot. What are he gonna fake next?
Yeah, he might want to switch to a different niche. Maybe he'll start doing makeup content or hairdresser content.
How
or
about
something.
just get a hot dog stand and put a big ass hot dog hat on your big ass hot dog looking ass and sell you some hot dogs?
Yeah,
Hot dog it.
100%.